This is the first time any of you have gotten to see my hidden engine cave. Now, what's back here? Well, there's a whole bunch of old Mercedes engines. And why are they back here? Well, over the years, I'd say over the last 15 years, anytime I'd find a car that had a really good engine in, and I was parting it out, I would save the engine. Some of these engines are in amazing condition. The idea would be I'd save the engine, I'd hide it back here in the cave, and then someday, of course, I'd find that beautiful, pristine Mercedes-Benz with a blown engine. And some of you have done this. You know, it works really well. You find a really nice car with a bad engine, you find a really good engine, and you mate the two together. And you have a really relatively easy restoration when you do that. Well, now, what am I doing back here anyway? Well, I think the time has come. I haven't been real successful lately finding any really pristine 30, 40-year-old, 50-year-old Mercedes-Benz. And they're getting harder and harder to find. The ones that are really nice already have good engines. So what I'm doing is I'm back here sorting through these engines and I'm going to put them up for sale. I think my days of this type of restoration are kind of winding down here. And I know some of you out there could really use one or more of these engines. I have diesels, I have gas engines. Most of them are, you know, I got some in the 90s, one in the 90s, mostly in the 80s, and down into the 70s and 60s. I have a V8 gas engine, and I've got some 6-cylinder gas engines, and of course some diesel engines. Right over there in the corner, I have an engine that came out of a 1972 W108 4.5. Now those engines are really hard to find in really good condition. This one has about 140,000 miles on it, and it ran beautifully when I pulled it out of a rusty car. And right next to that, I have another engine also out of a W108 sedan, but it's a 6-cylinder, it's a 280 SE engine. And then right here, I've got a 280 SE engine that came out of a W111 coupe. And this is the one I really wanted to save. The fella had done a complete head rebuild. It just ran beautifully in this old rusty coupe that I got. And I have literally, for the last 15 years, been trying to find a nice W111 coupe, and of course the prices keep going up and up and up, and I think I've pretty much, you know, given up on that one. And then right here, this is a venerable 240D diesel engine, came out of an 82 240D. And some of these engines I'm talking about here, I'm going to put links to videos below in the description of this video to take you to the video where you can actually hear the engines run. That's the case with this engine, and it's the case over here with this 190E. This is a beautiful 2.6 190E engine. I mean, I pull the valve cover, it's like a new engine inside, and you're going to get to see in the video, if you want to follow through with that one, you'll get to see what the compression results were. It's just, man, this was one really nice engine. Normally I don't save 2.6 engines, but this one's worth saving. So if any of you have a really nice 190E 2.6, you might want to get this engine. Then over there I've got a remanufactured diesel engine out of a 1976 300D. That's a W115 chassis, so it's a little bit different diesel. It's probably the best non-turbo diesel engine I've ever had. It's got about 80,000 miles according to the owner who put it in the car. You know, when you have a good, strong, super tight diesel, even if it's a non-turbo, you cannot believe how much power they can produce and how well they can perform. A 300D 115 can really get up and go if it has a good, strong engine in it. So these engines are really getting hard to find. So if any of you out there have a 75 or 76 300D, you might be interested in that engine. Then I have one other engine outside. I'm going to go out and run that for you, and I'll put a little link and you can hear that engine run. It's a really nice turbo diesel Mercedes engine that only has 120,000 miles on it. Most of these engines, it's getting hard to find them with the low mileage on them that most of these have, and I've kept them. I've kept them specifically because they're really, really good engines. And if you want to consider how much these might be worth, just contemplate how much it would cost to rebuild. It's getting really expensive to rebuild these diesel engines now with the cost of pistons and liners and bearings and everything. So for you diesel lovers out there, you might want to check out some of my diesel engines. So what I'll do is I'll just put a link below that'll take you to all these engines on my website, and I'll list the price is there, and you'll also be able to see videos in each one of those engine descriptions. If I have a video where the engine's running or where I talk about the engine, I'll put it right there in the description of the engine for sale, and you'll be able to check that out as well. So I'm going to have to say goodbye to some old friends here. Some of these engines have been around for a long time.